Hello members of class, this is Group 1 History presentation, and I'm going to introduce the members who had contributed towards this presentation. And first we have Ichanda Enoch. Second we have Sheila. Third we have Wanyuiti John. Fourth we have Sheila Lebuka. We also have Franklin Kimaru. We have Simeo Abel. We also have Benjamin. And lastly, we have Brian. So from here, I would like to introduce the next presenter, who is going to take us through the introduction and introduction of the topic as we move on. Stay welcome as we need your attention. Thank you.
So our topic of presentation is about national integration. And to start with, we are going to look at the meaning and the importance of the term national integration. And the term national integration means the process of bringing together people of different diversity. As you can see in these pictures, we have people from different diversities who have been brought together. And as we continue, now we are going to look at the importance of national unity. And the very first importance of national unity is that it brings lasting peace and prosperity. As we've said that the meaning of the term national unity is that is the process of bringing people of different diversity together. So as these people are being brought together, there is going to be peace, and whenever there is peace, there is also going to be prosperity. People are going to prosper in the things that they are doing. As you can see in this picture, people are together, and this togetherness will lead to peace and prosperity. Then the next importance of national unity is that it brings rapid economic and social development. People are going to develop economically and socially. Maybe in the businesses that they are doing, they are going to thrive. Then the next importance is that it results in political stability and a feeling of security. There is going to be political stability. People are going to feel that sense of security in the country or the nation. Then the next importance is that it enhances nationalism and patriotism. People are going to be united, and also there's going to be that feeling of the sense of loving one country. You love your country. Then the next importance is that it creates conditions suitable for attraction of foreign investors. Remember, as earlier we said that there is going to be peace and prosperity. So with this kind of peace, the foreign investors are going to be attracted to come to the country so that they may engage in some activities, for example, in trade, businesses. And the next importance is that it provides the national direction, for it sets national goals. So remember that national unity helps in providing a national direction and also in setting national goals. And the final importance of national unity is that it encourages and enhances communication among people. Remember that these people are united, they are together, so communication is going to be smooth. People are going to communicate well. There's going to be that peace, prosperity. I think with this you are able to understand the meaning of the term national unity, and also you are able to understand the importances of the term national unity. Now I'm going to invite the next presenter.
factors that promote national unity and that this national integration is: one is the Constitution. The Constitution promotes national unity in that the Constitution protects every citizen from any form of integration, and thus nobody will be discriminated and therefore there will be no conflict. The second factor is the presidency. Presidency promotes national unity in the sense that all the citizens of a country, Kenyan citizens who reside in a country, are united under one president whom they respect and honor. And in this sense, the president is a symbol of national unity. He is the one who links the country with the rest of the world. The next factor that promotes national unity is education. Education promotes national unity in the sense that school-going children whom they mix, interact freely, sharing ideas of their community. Therefore, there will be no conflict since they can understand each other as they interact together in school. The next point is the national language. National language promotes national unity in the sense that English and Kiswahili promote national unity in that people from different communities are able to interact freely with other citizens. The next point is socio-economic interaction. Social and economic activities such as trading, games, and intermarriages are able to unite people from different communities, thus promoting national unity. The last one is equal distribution of resources. When resources such as schools, clean water are distributed equally and fairly to all citizens of a country, there will be no conflict, thus uniting the citizens. Thank you, and I welcome the next presenter.
And here, let us begin with our first factor here being tribalism. When we talk of tribalism, we can say that this is the act of favoring people based on tribal lines. As we can see in those graphics, we have some communities that have divided themselves in terms of their tribal lines. For example, you might have the Maasais isolating themselves from other communities, and this might end up leading to a very serious division among themselves. Next point, and here we are talking about nepotism. Nepotism is the act of favoring relatives or close friends, maybe in terms of job opportunities or other resources. As you can see in that picture, we have nephews keeping his new boss there, and when this is not handled, it might end up leading to a very serious conflict among those other communities that are isolated. Third factor, and the third factor here is talking about racism. So when we talk of racism, this is about the case of color or the race. For example, here we have the whites distancing themselves from the black ones, and this might end up leading to very serious conflicts among the two groups. Let us see point number 4, and our fourth point here is corruption. So when we talk of corruption, this is the misuse of public power or resources for personal gain. For example, maybe someone is trying to have a job somewhere, so you must have paid something small in order to exchange of that service, as you can see in that picture there. Then we have point number 5, which is religious differences. For example, as we all know that in the world we have different religions like Christians, we have Muslims, we have Hinduism, and if these religions are not handled properly, it might end up bringing a very serious conflicts in terms of their beliefs and religions. And then we have the last point here being an equal distribution of resources. For example, in Kenya we have various resources like land, we have water, we have schools, and if these resources are not distributed equally, the other communities might end up fighting each other, trying to complain for not being shared these resources equally. After that point, let me welcome the next presenter.
First, we are going to discuss the meaning of the term conflict. A conflict is a state of war, battle, or struggle. We are also going to talk about different types of conflict. And the first type of conflict, we are going to talk about political conflict. And on political conflict is whereby we discuss about politics. And politics, a simple definition of politics is that politics is a struggle for power. So when we talk about politics, we have different tribes or different groups supporting different parties or individuals. So on that graphic you can see different types of people who are not happy or either with their results or their members, or rather their partners who participate in an election. So the next one will be cultural conflict. And when we talk about cultural conflict, it's whereby we majorly talk about culture, and that is emphasized mostly when people marry each other. So we can basically talk about intermarriage or any other function whereby people sometimes may differ in culture during weddings or burials. The next one is ethnic conflict. And when we talk about ethnic conflicts, mostly we are talking about tribal lineage, and people are from different groups or tribes. So when sometimes they differ in terms of interests or decisions, or sometimes desires, we resort to. The next one is family conflict, and basically a simple definition of a family is we have different types of families. We have a nuclear family and extended family. And so when group members are having a clash or a disagreement in terms of some decisions or some opinions, it will lead to a conflict. The next one is ideological conflict. And a simple definition of ideological conflict is the word ideological is derived from the word ideology, and ideology is a set or a group of opinions or beliefs. So when people are having different beliefs or opinions, the afterward result will be a conflict. religious conflicts. And when we talk about religious conflicts, we have different denominations whereby we have different denominations or groups. We have the Islam, Christian, Hindu, and many others. So when these denominations are together, sometimes they may differ in terms of opinions, interests, so they end up participating in something like election on whom do you support. So it will result to a serious conflict. I therefore welcome the next presenter.
The issues that may cause conflicts. Under these issues that may cause conflict or lead to conflict, number one, we have misunderstanding. When you have misunderstanding among the people or nation, it will lead to different opinion, then the results will be conflicting situation. Number 2 point, we have difference in ideology. When you have difference in ideology, for example, we have the capitalist, socialism, Marxism, this situation may lead to conflict as people have different ideologies or what they believe in. Second point is disunity among the people. When we have disunity among the people, we lead to conflict as they are not working together or as they are not united. This will lead to conflict. Next point is struggle for power. When people are struggling for power or are after getting power or into political positions or authorities, this will lead to conflict as some of them may use the illegal means to make sure that they get into power. Next point is inferiority and the superiority complex. When you have a society where people feel that they are inferior and superior, this will lead to conflict as those who are in superior positions or who occupy superior positions in the community will feel that they don't deserve to have the same people who are inferior or those ones who are lower in that community. Likewise, those ones who feel inferior will struggle to cope or to live with those ones who feel like they are superior to them. This will lead to. Next point is formation of different classes in the society or community. And when you have different classes or social stratification in the society, will lead to conflict as we have those ones who feel they are poor, those ones who feel they are rich, they don't want to mix with the poor, and this will lead to conflict in the society or nation.
I'm going to take you through methods of resolving conflict. As you know, there are various methods of resolving conflicts, and we're just going to look at a few of them. Our first method that we will look at is negotiation. As you can see in that picture, there are various people who are sitting at that table. So we can simply define this negotiation as a process whereby people talk, or it's simply a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. So we are going to look at our method number. This is mediation. As you can see in that diagram, there are two people and one at the center. So that maybe that one person is helping them to reach their agreement. So mediation, we can simply define it as a process whereby there is one person who is called a mediator who helps two people that are conflicting or groups to reach an agreement. Our point or our method number, we look at use of dialogue. So in in that picture you can see two people. You can simply say that they are talking. So use of dialogue is simply talking to reach an agreement. Let us look at in that picture you are seeing different resources there. So for us to make sure that there are no these conflicts in the society, we must ensure that there is equal distribution of resources such as land and other resources that are available there in the society. Let us look at our method. Of commercial or trade partnerships. These are simply partnerships that are formed to ensure that there are no conflicts in the society or among trades or businesses that are there in the society. Let me welcome the next presenter and thank you.
Hello, let's now get into the process of resolving conflicts. And the first process is definition of the problem. So as a mediator, you have to define the problem clearly and also get where the problem originated from, so that you can be able to know what you are dealing with and also know the problem that you are going to deal with. So this is the reason as why definition of the problem is very important. So as you can see, we are having a picture of kind of a frog trying to have a question mark, thinking about the source of the problem. We're also having a certain face there, funny face, trying to interrogate the source of the problem. And also this is very important, as you can see, definition of the problem. So the next one, we are having coming together to communicate. So coming together in this sense is that two people or more who have been conflicting together must have to have a convening meeting so that they can talk. And that's the reason that's why we have the communication in this part. So talking also involves the mediator in between them, so that whenever they are talking, the conversation can be captured and also can be moderated by the mediator, him or herself. So as you can see the graphic, we are having two people have come together to engage themselves in a certain conversation, which is meant to have each and every person's mind in the process of resolving conflict. So the next one, we are having establishing relationship. So how can we establish the relationship? The relationship in this case had been broken as a result of conflicting people. And due to the process that we have seen earlier, in this case, those who are conflicting people who have talked are now coming to establish relationship which are normally being broken. Those two pictures, especially the man and the woman, bringing the relationship together to fix where the broken links had already been discovered as a result of the convening conversation that they had initially. So in this case is also very important for intervention of the mediator, also to intercept the conversation and also get clearly on how the establishment of the relationship should be. So the next one, we talk about the developing an action. So these are very critical, as it is very vital process of resolving conflict in this case, in the sense that the mediator must have to develop an action. You see, as you can see that picture, there's a plan of action which is going to guide the conflicting people. The action plan is helpful in that it's a guideline for conflicting two people to follow, so that they can know the way forward of solving the conflict. It's normally being initiated or developed by a mediator himself after getting the two conflicting views, so that he can ratify or bring about what we call an action plan, which these two conflicting people can follow. So let's see the next one. The next one, we are having gaining commitment. So it is the mediator, the two conflicting people must have to come together in order for them to commit themselves to what the action plan has already been indicated or has already been stipulated. So in this case, the two conflicting party or people have to come together to commit themselves in a certain way, the certain way they are going to commit themselves through the means of the mediator. So what are the two ways? The first way is I will. You see, I will. The verbal phrase I will means that they have to, ultimately they have to do what is exactly meant for them to do as per the action plan that already been ratified by the mediator. So the verbal phrase I will is very, very effective in this case. So they have to commit themselves in terms of what? That they will do what they will actually do what is pertained in the action plan initiated by the mediator. So the verbal phrase like I will try should not be included in this case, because it basically means that the two conflicting people will or will not follow the action plan. So it's wrong. It is actually wrong in this case to include such verbal phrase in this kind of point of gaining commitments. So let's see the next. So this is actually the last process, which is providing the feedback. So how can it be materialized in this case? So to materialize the providing of the feedback, it's still upon the three people, the two conflicting people, and also the mediator. The two conflicting people must have to come to the mediator to actually give them the feedback on how what they have been doing as per the action plan and also commitments that they had contributed themselves into and is faring on. So they have to bring back the feedback on how they're faring on in their relationship, so that the mediator can also be contented at the end of the day that actually whatever initiated as the action plan and the commitments that these people had committed themselves into is actually working, so that at the end of the day we can achieve peace. As you can see, the mediator and also the kind of feedback in various forms or various channels or various means is normally being displayed. So in this case, it is very, very important to provide feedback, as it is an evaluation step of resolving conflict. So as a result, I would like to invite the next presenter, who is going to take us through the next step of this presentation. Thank you so much.
Getting into the various levels of conflict. So we have number one, we have interstate conflicts. Interstate conflict, this is a conflict between one state and another. For example, the most recent interstate conflict that we know is the one between Russia and Ukraine. Majorly, what causes this type of conflict is boundary issues and rivalries between heads of state of different countries. We will move on to the next point. The next point is conflict between two people. Conflict between two people is the most common type of conflict. It is brought about by issues related to debt and sometimes even boundaries, personal land boundaries. That's the major cause of this type of conflict. We have the next point. Conflict between a state and an individual. This type of conflict occurs when an individual is denied human rights by a state. For example, if the government finds some valuable minerals in your land that may be useful to the country, the government will take the land, and in return they need to pay you for compensation for you to buy another land. So if the government fails to pay you back, now that will bring this type of conflict that we call conflict between a state and an individual. Moving on to the next point, we have conflict between two or more groups. This type of conflict is mostly between businesses, two businesses or two political parties that are not in good terms with each other, and that's what causes the conflict between two or more groups. And with that, I will welcome the next presenter to do the next part. Thank you.
So let's now look at the conclusion part of this presentation, and I'm going to give a nutshell of what has been talked about throughout the presentation by different presenters. So first we tackled about national integration. Under national integration, we had several points that already been presented by various presenters. So first point, we had a presentation based on meaning of national integration. We also had a point on importance of national integration. And also we tackled national unity. And under national unity, we had factors promoting national unity, of course. We also had factors limiting national unity. We also had or paid attention to conflict resolution. Under it, we had several points that already been presented by various presenters. First point was the meaning and types of conflicts. We had levels of conflict. We had issues causing conflict. We also had methods of resolving conflict. We also had process of resolving conflict, and I think this was the last point that already been presented by the presenter. So from here, I would like to congratulate all the presenters who devoted their time and effort in making this video possible, without forgetting the audience that are paying attention to us now. I will also appreciate and also have a great thanks to your time devoted to listen to us in this wonderful video that's already been produced. So as a result, I would like to urge you to follow us up. You can subscribe our MIG YouTube channel based on this. The link will be provided, has been provided in the class WhatsApp group. And as a result, we'll miss you so much, and we wish you to be in our next presentation or another video that will avail. Thank you so much.